What's good? What's good? We're back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Today, I'm going to react to a video I've seen a lot of people reacted to. U.S. women's soccer team destroyed by older men who refuse to hold back. Yeah, and there'll be a very, very good point of why people. I think I know why people are reacting to this video the way they are. And I think the point that they're trying to get across. Before we do that, though, I want to give you a word from promopalace.biz.
Musician looking for music marketing and promotion? Then look no further than Promo Palace LLC, your one-stop shop for all music promotion services. Services include Spotify playlist pitching, YouTube video promotion, record pool promotion, blog placements, radio airplay promotion, SoundCloud promotion, and much more. With over 2,000 customers and over 10 years of experience in online promotion, Promo Palace LLC is a company you can trust. For more info, please go to promopalace.biz. See you there.
You heard a beautiful lady. If you need online marketing promotions, please go to promopalace.biz. You see the website scrolling below. Get marketing promotions at promopalace.biz. Go to the front page of the website, and there is a 15% off code. All you got to do is share the website to social media or sign up to the email marketing database. Let's get into it.
Fires of him. It's a big ask, but well, there's Trundle able to try to move around, and that's going to be a nice Murkoff takes that shot with the left. 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S. women.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about an absolutely hilarious story that I hope puts the conversation about men versus women in sports to rest, and also biological.
Before he goes any further, it should, but with these cuckoo for cocoa puff, radical ideology, make believe, fairy tale, imaginary, made up bullshit that people are spewing, it won't.
Biological men competing against biological women in sports, because again, they tell us, people on the left tell us that there is no difference, right? There's no evidence that there is a difference between biological men and women when it comes to competing in sports. It's totally fair, right? And that's why trans women, aka biological men, should be able to compete against biological women in sports. Well,
this is the thing, though. What other argument do they have to make to accept to say there is no difference? Because basically what they're saying is everybody should be included in everything. This is the thing. When you're talking about competition, like if we're going to make it, everybody should be included in everything, and we're going to base off competition, then it shouldn't be male and female leagues. There should just be the NBA, and everybody goes out for the NBA, women, transgenders, and men. They all compete to try to go for the NBA. Same thing with the NFL. You shouldn't, if you're going to say that everybody should be included in everything, and you got to take away the WNBA, then just women, the WNBA players should have to try to compete to get a NBA slot, and the transgender males and the transgender women should have to compete for a slot against the biological men that are going to get the slots pretty much. Let's keep it moving.
They need to reference this game right here that happened in a soccer tournament where the U.S. women's soccer team lost 12-0 to Wrexham, their football club, again, in a soccer tournament. again, this was embarrassing. Okay, if you watch the highlights of what happened in this game, these women did not have a chance because these guys refused to hold back. Take a look.
Why should you? They got the most mellow and chill music on it. Like it was total domination, and they got this mellow chill music. I like that beat. It's about the beat right now. I like that. He's like,
Yeah, so you seen that, okay? They got destroyed, right? I mean, there's no
Yeah.
other word that I can use to describe that outside of they got destroyed, they got demolished. They didn't stand a chance. Again, these men were older men, okay? These weren't even like, the top of the top players, right? And again, the US women's team got absolutely destroyed. Again, nobody at this point should be having a conversation about whether or not there's a difference between men and women when it comes to sports, because clearly there is. Okay.
Clearly.
So with that being said, let's read about this because the U.S. women here are coping.
Yeah,
Right.
before he goes in, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. And that's the only reason I think cats like Greg Foreman, Black Conservative Perspective, I've seen Officer Tatum and a few other cats reacting to this. That's really the whole purpose in this. The whole argument is that why are we allowing biological men that call themselves transgender women who are still biological men to compete against biological women when this is clearly going to be this? It's like you might as well let the men's pro sports start using steroids, or you might as well allow women to start using steroids. If we're gonna do this, it's like, what's the whole reason of not allowing steroids? So there'll be an even playing field. Everybody's going off of natural talent and ability. Okay, well, why is there a women's pro league and a men's pro league? Because women would not stand a chance of competing in professional sports if they didn't have their own leagues. But now we're going to let their league be overrun by biological men that want to identify as something that they never, ever will be 100%. Let's keep it moving.
They're coping with this loss, right? Let's read here. A 7-on-7 squad for Wrexham AFC, made up of former, current, and guest players, demolished a team of former U.S. Players at the soccer team on Thursday, 12-0. Lee Trudes, a former Wrexham, Leeds United, and Swansea City player, scored 4 goals in the match against a squad featuring World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly and coached by U.S. Women's legend Mia Hamm. Okay, so clearly none of that mattered, right? None of that mattered. Their World Cup status, their legendary coach status doesn't matter. Again, notice how decorated these players are, right? The women, they're decorated. Okay, and the men that are on the Wrexham squad, again, they're not as decorated versus other men as these women are versus other women. It's just, again, it's interesting. The squad scored 7 goals in the opening 20 minutes against the likes of Christine Lilly and Kat Whitehill, not holding back with clinical finish after clinical finish. Goalkeeper Lindsay Harris made several fantastic saves to keep the scoreline from being even more inflated. This article is hilarious. Yeah. So they're trying to give the women credit for, basically showing up, okay? Because
From
look at
not
this video
being
right
down
here.
20 to nothing.
They're trying to say, well, she made some saves, right? She made some saves.
Or how about, can we make some scores? I mean, really, like, you didn't score one time, and we're leaning on, oh, she made some saves. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
That's the look of defeat right there. That's the look when you
Yeah.
know you ain't got a
Let me help
chance
you
right
up,
there, bro.
loser.
They clapping for him too. Right. Oh, you made a save.
Woo.
That's sad, bro.
I mean, damn,
That's
you
so
better.
sad. Wow. Hey, good on her though. Good on her.
At least somebody did something.
Wrexham being coached by first team coach David Jones had 39 shots in the match to the USA's 5. So
Heather, what's going on over here? You guys are, look at this. They're fraternizing with the enemy. I saw you talking with Mark Howard. But look, hey, I love that you guys are here, that you're playing, that this is all women. Maybe not the scoreline you were wanting to see, but what's your perspective on what's happening right now?
Yeah, listen, we're super proud. Like, we're so happy to be here at this event. Hopefully we've proven to anybody, like, just go for it. Just live, right? And like, what's the worst thing that can happen? We lose 16-0 to Wrexham. We don't care because we're living, we're being bold, we're being brave, and we're having a lot of fun. Honestly,
We're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. You know what I think about when I hear that? I think about that movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt. When the guy who played Jason Giambi's little brother, Jeremy Giambi, Brad Pitt's walking by the locker room after they lost, and he walks in and he takes a baseball bat and bashes the stereo because Jeremy Giambi's on top of some chair, and he's dancing and he's having fun, he's celebrating. And he's like, get down. He's like, is losing fun? Is losing fun? He's like, no. Then what you having fun for? What you having fun for? Is losing fun? Then what you having fun for? And then he slings the fucking bat. I mean, he just slings the freaking bat. What you having fun for?
the U.S. has really warmed to Wrexham, obviously, after what Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have done. And we know that America loves the U.S. women's national team. So here we have two amazing products that American soccer fans are getting behind. And, yeah, it's just a ton of fun. And I love this game. And it's brought all of us together tonight, different parts of the world.
yeah, that sounds like coke to me. Right? That sounds like coke. Okay. Oh, who cares? Nobody cares. We don't care. Right? Who cares? Well, I mean, hey, you can frame it that way, right? And just say who cares, but at the same time, you got your ass whooped, okay? I'll be low-key heated, right? Because some of these women were probably delusional enough to think that they could win, right? I'm just saying. The soccer tournament is a 32-team competition in North Carolina that concludes on Sunday. Clubs feature include Borussia Dortmund and West Ham United with a $1 million prize at stake. Yeah, so guys, that was embarrassing, but also hilarious at the same time. Again, anybody that wants to have this conversation debate about biological men and women competing against each other in sports, just reference that highlight clip right there. Okay, it's not fair. And honestly, these women are lucky they didn't get hurt, to be quite honest with you. So,
all right, so he said, who cares? That's why people won't clearly take this as evidence. They won't clearly say, oh, this is evidence that transgender women should not be competing with biological women. But see, this is also the thing. Like, who's the blame for? Who's the biggest to blame for transgender women competing with biological women? I would say it's biological women. I would say biological women are the biggest to blame. Like they brought this on themselves, feminists, because feminist movement always tries to attach every single movement to their movement. You know, it's like when I watched the Bumpy Johnson, a Godfather of Harlem, on the other day, and on the TV show, the white chick's trying to convince Bumpy Johnson's wife that the civil rights movement and the feminist movement are pretty much the same thing. And she has to explain to her why it isn't, because it isn't. And they always attach these movements to their movement. And now it's like, you know, Democrats and liberals are supposed to be the political party for feminism, but they care more about transgenderism. And transgenderism and feminism are a total contradiction to each other. I never really hear nobody say that feminism and transgenderism are a total contradiction to each other. They're really enemies. But what happens is, what's happening here is, it's like the thing where somebody was talking about, why do certain gays allow themselves to be bunched in with transgenders? Because there's some gays that, you know, don't consider themselves in the same boat as transgenders. They think it's just LGB and Q, no T. You know, so but then some do. So what it is it's a enemy of my enemy is my friend. But that, just because they're the enemy of your enemy, it doesn't make them a friend. That's the problem with that philosophy. The enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. And that's all that's going on over here, is that feminism looked at transgenderism as the enemy of my enemy, and it's my friend, but it's not your friend. It's not your friend. It's not at all. It's not at all. You know. Yeah, man, I pretty much agree with everything he said. And the whole purpose of them reacting to this is just to show people, you know, why you need women's professional sports separate from men's professional sports. Because if not, then, you know, women won't really have a standard chance of competing in any space, as they say. You know, they always talk about spaces, you know, having a space, a comfortable space, a safe space. They always use these trigger words. See, that's the thing. You always gotta watch for these trigger words when people are talking that they use. That's like the last video I reacted to. It wasn't so much about just the trigger words in the video that Monica McNutt was using. It was also the words she didn't say, the words that didn't get said. That let me to know, like, you know, what this is, you know, that you're trying to paint a narrative, a false narrative on it, or you're trying to, you know, add a narrative and whatnot. But I mean, I really don't care. To be honest with you, I really don't care if if transgender women go into women's sports and dominate. It's not my fight. I don't have a dog in this fight. Do I think it's unfair? Yeah, but I also think they brought it on themselves. And it is a hot topic. It is a topic that might affect my niece and nephew as they get older. They might want to compete in certain things, you know. They might want to compete in athletics. And when you're talking about, like, we're talking about like competing in like, you know, like a music competition or speaking or anything of that nature, it's anything's up for grabs. Anybody can compete with anybody. But when we talk about competing in athletic sports, men will always dominate. It's nothing sexist about that. It's just the facts. It's the truth. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. That's common sense. It's common knowledge. Why is it? It's the same reason why. Now, this is how you know women can dominate. Women cannot dominate men in sports or compete with men in sports. Who files most domestic disputes? Women. They're filing them against men that have committed the domestic dispute against them, because men can 9 times out of 10 overpower women. You got to be a real big woman. You got to be a little dude for you to typically overpower him. And even then, that's still not going to happen all the time. It's very rare. You got to be one of these MMA women working out, hitting the weight, super strong, fist fighting, boxing, all that, to really typically usually have a stand a chance. Or one of these ghetto hood rat chicks that just know how to fight. Catch you off guard and clock you. I seen a dude, I ain't gonna lie. I seen a dude get clocked one time. Used to be a friend of mine, got clocked with a left hook by a female over a bag of pork skins. But if he really wanted to, he could have got up and definitely did some damage to her. He probably would have got jumped or broken up because she was somebody's sister out there. But yeah, some females, yeah, they some, but most, nah, man. And that alone, domestic disputes, the fact that most men, because trust me, if more women could beat up more men, it'd be going, domestic disputes would be the other way. It'd be going the other way. Women are beating up their dudes and throwing them out the house, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's for sure. Once again, I'll thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out.